Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin because it's finally breaking out of that $42,000 area that we've discussed for weeks. So I'll show you what buyers have to do to confirm the breakout today and some of my targets for later this month. Now, if you guys do enjoy the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to get notifications because I am releasing these videos every day, Monday through Friday. Okay, so the Bitcoin daily time frame, we are finally seeing, guys, this market breakout from 42,000. So you can see that first up, we have this trend line off of the April high back here. So it served as resistance last year. It then flipped to support here, broke below it, flipped to resistance. All right, so today's close is going to be key. We need to see a daily close above this level right here, which it didn't quite do on Sunday. You can see Sunday's candle fell a little bit short of closing above this trend line. So really, Bitcoin isn't quite out of the woods just yet. I would like to see a daily close above this area right around $42,500 in order to really confirm this move. Okay, but at the same time, we had a pretty strong weekly close above this $40,000 area. Okay, so above 40 and also 42,000. So that all looks pretty good for a continuation to the upside. But again, today's close above that area right around 42,500 is going to be key to really confirm that breakout. Now, the volume here that we discussed last week, okay, the volume looks pretty good here. However, it is starting to move lower since this bottom down here. So we really haven't seen the kind of buying volume that I'd like to see on a move like this. However, that can come later, okay? This is something that doesn't mean we're going to see an imminent rotation lower, because you can see volume just kind of trend lower for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you get maybe some consolidation up here, and then you get that move higher and volume starts to come in. Okay, so this is not a detrimental thing. However, it is something to keep an eye on as we move forward. All right, so right now, guys, I want to see a close above 42.5, so 42,500 to flip that area to support. The next key area is going to be this high from back here in January, right around 44,500, all the way up toward about 46,000. Based on these lows back here. Okay, so this area up here is going to be resistance. Bitcoin has to get back above that in order to expose the $50,000 to $53,000 area. Now, alternatively, if the market were to fail to close above this area around 42,500 today, then we could see a rotation back here into $40,000. Okay, so fail to close above 42,500 today, we likely see a move down toward 40,000 or so as new support. That area would then have to hold on a daily closing basis, okay? Close above 42,500 today, and we're likely looking at a move up here toward this area between $45,000 and $46,000. Now, I do want to point out also how the RSI is doing, because this is something that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So what we looked at was the fact that this recent pullback in terms of RSI matched what we saw back here during this run-up. Okay, the pullback between May and July, and then that bounce that took Bitcoin up here toward $50,000. So you can see on the RSI here, we had the breakout from this trend line. And similarly, on this recent downtrend, the RSI was doing something very similar, where we had lower highs that formed this descending trend line. Now, you can also see where the RSI recently broke out from this trend line here that I discussed last week. We also got a retest as new support before the market broke out. So this actually acted as a leading indicator before the market had even broken out from this $40,000 to $42,000 area. Okay, so the RSI was already breaking out from this trend line before we got that price breakout. But again, today needs to close above 42,500 to really confirm that this breakout is likely to hold, okay? Now, at the same time too, RSI is looking pretty good. RSI is not something I typically use, but since we're on the subject, it is looking pretty good. We're not seeing anything overheated like we saw back here. All right, so it still has plenty of room to move higher here at right around, let's say 63 or so. So there is still plenty of room for the market to move higher here, up toward 45, 46, and potentially up toward 50 to 53 before we get a significant pullback. All right, guys, and a brief update on my position too. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I did have bids set between 35 and 42. I set these bids all the way back here. So the ones at 42 to 40, I had set even when Bitcoin was trading back here because we were looking for a move down toward 40,000. Once Bitcoin was here, I started to move some bids down toward 35 because I thought there was a good chance we got a retest of that area. And sure enough, we did. So my average rate is right around 38 still. I do have about 75% of that position still on. today because I do think we still see some upside here from Bitcoin over the coming days. All right, but again, close above 42,500 would give me a lot more confidence that we are going to see that move up toward 45 to 46,000. So as of right now, the position is still on, and if we do see 45 to 46 over the coming days, I might take a little bit more off, hold the rest on until $50,000 or so, maybe 53, and then take some more off there. Okay, because I do think that we see a retest of this area up here. I've been saying this for weeks now. It took longer than I thought it would, but this area up here between 50 and 53 is going to be critical for Bitcoin. Okay, to me, this is kind of the line in the sand. 40 to 42 was a big one, but this up here is going to be kind of the line in the sand between whether or not we get a new all-time high this year, or this ends up becoming a lower macro high and then we get that pullback. Now, I know a lot of retail is expecting a lower macro high, still talking about a bear market. In fact, a lot of people right now on Twitter are talking about shorting this bounce. Personally, this is not a move I'd want to be short on. As you guys know, I am actually long at this time. And the reason for that, guys, I mentioned this in a previous video, but I am expecting a melt up later this year from risk assets. Okay, so one more kind of blow off top from risk assets, not just cryptos, but also stocks. And I discussed all of that in a previous video. But look, I'm looking for a move here from Bitcoin over the coming months back towards $70,000 and then some. Now, I know that's not shared by many. In fact, most people, like I said, do expect a bear market from cryptos. I personally don't think that we get it when everybody is expecting it. I think we do get a bear market at some point, maybe later this year, early 2023, but I do think we get one more push higher before we get that bear market. Because it's like I've said in recent videos, markets don't crash when everybody's expecting it. And right now, everybody's expecting it. I know a lot of people are saying, well, the Fed is hiking rates, they're tapering, et cetera, et cetera. Personally, I don't think that they taper or hike rates nearly as much as they say they will. And I also think that the economy does slow a little bit, which prevents them from being as aggressive as they have been. So that's just my personal take. I think that we do get one more push higher up to a new all-time high before we finally get that rotation lower, and then a correction, like I said, in late 2022, potentially 2023. All right, guys, so that's it for today. I hope this video helped. If it did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon for notifications, smash that like button, and leave your comment below. I will talk to you again tomorrow.